You see, there's no artist, let me be clear, there's no artist in this industry that's doing major numbers with these platforms that haven't sold their songs.
For both worlds. Nobody talks about that.
Nobody talks about this shit.
Nobody talks about that project.
That's smooth under the rug.
Why?
It starts with a moment the world thought it understood. The night of the 2011 MTV Video Music Awards, when Beyoncé, glowing and triumphant, unbuttoned her sequined jacket, cradled her belly, and told the crowd there was love growing inside. The cameras caught Jay-Z's face, beaming from the audience. The applause was thunderous, the headlines instant. But not everyone saw a miracle. Just weeks later, grainy footage surfaced from an Australian talk show, the so-called folding clip, where as she took her seat, the bump appeared to collapse unnaturally. A simple camera trick? A wardrobe mishap? Or, as some whispered in back rooms and fan forums, the first visible crack in a carefully constructed illusion. That clip has lived in the darker corners of the internet ever since, a digital ember that never quite went cold. And now, more than a decade later, it's been fanned into a blaze.
There are people who did short sales on their stocks right after that, made a lot of money, including Sean Carter. Now I'm going to ask you, why would non-disclosure agreements need to be signed for an accident?
The renewed fire comes courtesy of Rymir Satterthwaite, a name unfamiliar to most until recently when he stepped forward claiming to be Jay-Z's secret son. In a series of jaw-dropping statements, Rymir painted a picture of a parentage swap, suggesting Blue Ivy might not be Beyoncé's biological daughter at all. For conspiracy watchers, this wasn't a random shock. It plugged directly into years of hushed chatter about surrogacy, hidden offspring, and the relentless image control of music's most guarded couple. Rymir, in his own telling, wasn't just airing family laundry, he was hinting at an intricate network of secrecy stretching back to that VMA night.
I don't have no felonies, I'm not crazy or none of that. It's like, I just want the truth, and it's so hard to get it from the courts. And it seems like Jay-Z don't want to say anything, so, I don't want to see him go down for something that, you could have just got taken care of. That's it.
We have to ask ourselves, why now? Rymir's comments come at a time when the Carters are already fending off waves of unrelated controversies, from legal filings in courtrooms to high-profile feuds with industry titans. That timing makes his accusations feel almost strategic, like a piece moved on a chessboard in a game the public isn't supposed to see. Is this a personal vendetta dressed up as truth-telling? Or could it be the slip that opens the floodgates on a decade's worth of guarded secrets? Adding to the swirl, an alleged former nanny has stepped out of the shadows, claiming she cared for Blue Ivy as an infant and never once saw Beyoncé pregnant. The story is incendiary, that the image of the perfect glowing mother-to-be was all for the cameras, while behind the scenes, another woman carried the child. This isn't the first time someone suggested it, but it's rare to hear such blunt testimony from someone who says they were inside the household. The nanny's account, if even partly true, threatens the foundation of Beyoncé's public narrative. The carefully edited glimpses of family life, the extreme privacy, the refusal to let gossip dictate the story.
I know so much on how you got where you are, how you stepped on many people.
We can't forget how meticulously Beyoncé has curated her image, every album rollout, every photograph, every snippet of her children that the public is allowed to see, all choreographed with precision. That's part of why these renewed whispers hit so hard. If the cornerstone of her motherhood story is questioned, the ripple effect could be seismic. Imagine what it would mean for the mythology of her career, for the countless fans who see her as the embodiment of truth and empowerment. The idea that there could be an entirely different version of events hidden in plain sight is as unsettling as it is tantalizing.
It's not just about me. If I gotta fight for all of us, I will, but I won't let the court systems just walk over me. I won't let Jay-Z, I won't let no one just walk over me and tell me something because y'all just saying this. I want the truth. And if we can't go to the Supreme Courts, the regular courts, to find out the truth, what are they here for?
Yeah, all right, we'll get to the legal things that you've been through, the battles.
Rymir Satterthwaite's involvement muddies the water further. He presents himself as an insider wronged, with a kind of grievance that fuels late-night calls and locked-door conversations. His hints about hidden children and swapped parentage have been dissected line by line on forums, his motives debated in podcasts. Some see a bitter opportunist, others see a man daring to take on the most untouchable couple in entertainment. Either way, the effect is the same. A theory once relegated to rumor boards now has a fresh coat of paint and a louder microphone.
Weirdo. Don't get no what you got in your head, that neural link. You'll never outthink me. Ever.
And then there's the emotional punch. Blue Ivy isn't just any celebrity daughter. She's been on stage with her mother, on Grammy-winning records, in blockbuster films. The world has watched her grow from a swaddled newborn in glossy press photos to a poised young performer commanding stadiums. Her very presence has been a cornerstone of the Carter brand. If this new narrative were ever substantiated, it wouldn't just rewrite a chapter. It would burn the whole book and start again. From the outside, Beyoncé's motherhood appears as flawless as her stage persona. Stories from family, like Tina Knowles gushing about Blue's self-taught piano skills, her poetry, her art, reinforce the image of a gifted child nurtured in a bubble of love and creativity. Jay-Z speaks of prioritizing time with his children over all else. They are glimpses meant to humanize without opening the gates too far. But in the shadow of Rymir's claims and the nanny's allegations, those same anecdotes take on a different tone, almost like curated exhibits in a museum designed to distract from the rooms you're not allowed to enter.
Family out tonight is a family affair. I saw your mother-in-law so proud of.
We're going.
The more we revisit that folding bump clip, the harder it becomes to dismiss how perfectly it fits into this theory's framework. Was it nothing more than fabric and posture, or was it a fleeting moment when the mask slipped? In 2011, public fascination was about spectacle. In 2025, armed with years of hindsight and an avalanche of surrounding drama, the clip feels like potential evidence in a long-running case.
But after that major documentary comes out on Diddy, then you're going to start to hear more and more about Jay-Z and his nefarious past.
The question now isn't whether the rumors will fade, it's clear they won't, but how much more oxygen they'll get as other stories intersect. West's recent public meltdowns and pointed comments about the Carters have already thrown gasoline on unrelated disputes. Lawsuits swirling around figures once firmly in Jay-Z's inner circle have created a background hum of scandal. Even wild claims about controlled celebrities and Hollywood sacrifices have found their way into the conversation, creating an atmosphere where any claim, no matter how outlandish, seems to have an audience. Rymir's narrative, true or not, is landing in a moment when the Carters' protective walls look thinner than ever. Their longtime allies are distracted, some facing battles of their own. The media appetite for celebrity unmaskings has only grown sharper. And as much as Beyoncé has built her brand on mystery, the age of absolute privacy for public figures has all but evaporated. One leaked text, one ex-staffer willing to talk, one miscalculated response. That's all it can take to shift a whisper into a roar.
Oh, no, that was it. No, when I get nervous, I tell the truth.
If we picture the Carters' public life as a grand stage production, Blue Ivy has been both a co-star and a symbol, proof of their partnership, their family, their future. Pull that thread and the entire set risks collapsing. That's why Rymir's claims, coupled with the nanny's account, feel so volatile. They don't just challenge one detail, they question the authenticity of an entire act. In the court of public opinion, perception is everything. Beyoncé and Jay-Z have weathered accusations before, infidelity rumors, business disputes, even the infamous elevator footage. But those storms, while dramatic, didn't cut at the very heart of their family identity. This one does. And because it strikes at something so personal, so fundamental, it carries an emotional charge that can't be diffused with a press release or a surprise album drop.
Jay-Z new video with Nas and DJ Khaled is a scene with checkerboards. These are all occult Satanists.
What's more, these allegations have surfaced in an entertainment climate where audiences are quick to play detective, poring over old interviews, analyzing body language, matching timelines. Every public appearance from 2011 is being rewatched. Every photo from that pregnancy period scrutinized. The public isn't just consuming the rumor, it's actively investigating it. In an era when digital sleuthing has taken down politicians and exposed corporate scandals, it's a dangerous position for any celebrity to be in.
You know, I sat there and I thought about how the media portrays Black men and how that is typical of the things that they would focus on.
The Carters' silence so far is in line with their long-standing strategy, never explain, never complain. But silence can be a double-edged sword. It can project dignity, or it can be read as evasion. And as more voices join the chorus, from alleged insiders to industry rivals with grudges, the risk of losing control over the narrative grows. In this climate, every fresh sighting of Blue Ivy, whether at a film premiere, a tour stop, or a casual outing, takes on new significance. Supporters see a happy, talented young woman thriving under her parents' guidance. Skeptics look for signs, however faint, that something doesn't add up, and each side is convinced the other is blind. The truth, whatever it is, remains locked behind those high walls the Carters have built. But the combination of an old viral moment, a bold new accuser, and the testimony of someone claiming to have been inside the home has created a perfect storm. We are left staring at a question that, once asked, can't be unasked. If the image we've been sold for over a decade, isn't the whole story. What else have we been missing?
I want you to think about this. Allegedly, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce.
And just when we think we've mapped the limits of this storm, another rumor slides into focus, the so-called missing twins theory. It's an unsettling one, the kind of whisper that refuses to stay buried. According to long circulating claims in certain industry corridors, Jay-Z may have fathered another set of twins years before his marriage to Beyoncé. Not a tabloid slip-up, not mistaken identity, but children who have allegedly been kept away from cameras, events, and even the faintest public acknowledgement. The story goes further that their existence is bound up in confidential agreements and carefully engineered silence, with financial arrangements ensuring that this chapter remains invisible. If there's any truth here, it might explain the near militant level of privacy that surrounds the Carter household, and why the couple's approach to showing their known children feels so tightly curated.
And I'm not saying allegedly.
Oh.
I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit. Taking Pimp C wasn't bad enough. You just want to go down there and you want to just remove all of the balls from every real gangster in Houston.
The theory's fuel comes not just from gossip, but from selective readings of Jay-Z's own lyrics. Fans have combed through his catalog, isolating lines that seem, in retrospect, oddly confessional. References to two shadows and families I can't name that might be metaphor or might be something else entirely. Some claim that a handful of producers close to the Roc Nation orbit have hinted, off the record, at a story too dangerous to tell outright. In a business where alliances are secured with NDA after NDA and loyalty is currency, such cryptic hints are all that ever leak. Yet they're enough to keep people wondering, are we hearing art, or are we hearing a man leaving coded breadcrumbs? It doesn't help that the public-facing Carter family narrative is remarkably consistent, almost rehearsed. Every appearance, every anecdote from interviews reinforces the same picture. 3 children, an unshakable unit, a life of jet-set normalcy in the midst of global superstardom. But look closely, and the inconsistencies appear. Why are some family moments broadcast in high-definition splendor, while others, especially involving the younger twins Rumi and Sir, are kept behind an iron curtain? Could it be simple parental caution or a calculated effort to control what the world knows and when?
Beyonce and Jay-Z will do anything to destroy anyone who speaks out against them.
In this frame, Tina Knowles becomes more than the doting grandmother in designer frames. Her interviews, always warm yet measured, start to read differently when we consider the possibility of deeper family secrets. When she praises her grandchildren's talents, she's effusive, but she is also precise, steering clear of certain timelines, glossing over certain early life details. We have to ask, is that just media savvy? Or is it the practiced discipline of someone who knows that even a stray word could set off the wrong kind of chain reaction? As Beyoncé's mother, Tina, has been an unwavering presence in both her daughter's career and her personal narrative, a trusted spokesperson who can charm the press while guarding the vault. There's no doubt Tina's influence is formidable. She's navigated her own public life with a blend of candor and control, a combination that makes her both relatable and untouchable. Industry insiders describe her as the family's quiet strategist, the one who can pick up the phone and make a story disappear before it prints. If the surrogacy whispers from years past held any truth, Tina would have been the ideal person to keep them contained. She has the credibility, the reach, and perhaps most importantly, the maternal motivation to shield her daughter from a feeding frenzy.
At that time, I remember thinking, I can't be mad at her because that is what the media portrayed.
We've seen this kind of protective matriarch role in other entertainment dynasties, the Kris Jenners, the Dina Lohans. But Tina's version is subtler, rooted not in oversharing, but in selective storytelling. By controlling the flow of information, she can shape how the public sees the Carters, while also deciding what never leaves the inner circle. That kind of influence raises a provocative possibility. If there were other children, other arrangements, other truths that didn't fit the brand, could Tina be the one holding the master key? The psychological twist here is hard to ignore. In one light, she's simply a grandmother defending her family's right to privacy. In another, she's the architect of a long-term narrative designed to keep certain realities locked away. Both versions are plausible. Both versions serve the same purpose: to protect the empire. But one carries the quiet thrill of knowing that what we see might be only the tip of a far larger, more complicated iceberg. As we piece these strands together, the timeline feels heavier. The resurfaced folding clip, the sudden re-emergence of Rymir Satterthwaite with his alleged bloodline claims, the carefully managed public visibility of the known Carter children, and now this shadowy missing twins theory. It's a web that starts to look less like coincidence and more like choreography. A choreography where each step is designed to keep us looking in one direction while something else unfolds just out of sight.
After they are done with Diddy, Jay-Z is up next to be exposed, right?
And the stakes are enormous. The Carter brand isn't just music. It's fashion lines, film projects, global tours, philanthropic ventures. It's a symbol of Black excellence, entrepreneurial genius, and romantic endurance. To puncture that image with a scandal about hidden family members or surrogacy cover-ups would be to shake a cornerstone of modern pop culture, which is exactly why, if any of these theories hold water, they would be guarded as tightly as state secrets. In the background, the industry itself is shifting. The days when publicists could snuff out a rumor with a single statement are gone. Social media sleuths dissect facial expressions in old videos, map out travel schedules from paparazzi shots, and cross-reference them with lyric drops and leaked emails. One credible leak from a former staffer, one anonymous post from someone with photos or documents, and a narrative years in the making could start to unravel in hours.
This is what I look for. When I see a success, I'm looking for anything
to say that they didn't do it on their own?
Detain it, not this.
That's the pressure point where these rumors live, in the tension between an image built on perfection and a reality that might be far messier. If the missing twins theory is just a myth, it's a persistent one, thriving in the gaps the Carters themselves have left. If it's more than myth, it could explain patterns of control and presentation that have puzzled observers for years. And in both cases, it keeps the audience watching, waiting for a sign. So here we are, staring at a question that refuses to go away. If the Carters are willing to guard their family life this fiercely, what else might be behind those walls? Could the truth about Blue Ivy's parentage, the whispers of hidden children, and the possibility of long-buried arrangements one day spill into the open? Or will the empire hold, no matter how hard the outside world pushes? We'll be watching, and we know you will too. Tell us, if even part of this is real, does it change the way you see them forever? Until next time, stay curious, stay sharp, and don't look away.